Next up, we're going to look at another third-party library. This time, it's one that maybe doesn't come with its own type declarations. We're going to work with a very simple one, Lodash, which a lot of you are probably familiar with. It's a library that includes lots of utility functions. If you take a look at the documentation, we've just got a bunch of these different methods that are all on this underscore object. So things like shuffle to get a random element from an array, partition to partition an array based on some function, flatten, lots of things. We're not really going to worry about most of them. We'll pick one or two and play with them. But in order to use it, the first thing we're going to do is install it using npm. So npm install, or just Lodash. I'm going to do the same project, same directory. All right, so we should now have Lodash installed, and I should be able to import it. So import underscore from Lodash. Oh no, the dreaded red squiggly. What's our error? Could not find a declaration file for module Lodash. So that doesn't mean Lodash is not installed, or it doesn't exist, or it can't be found. That would maybe be the error here. If I had Lodash could not find module Lodash, but that's not what happened. Instead, it did find it, but it couldn't find a type declaration file. And that's because Lodash does not come with a type declaration file. If we look at it here on GitHub, oh my goodness, lots of different files, right? Lots and lots of different functions. Where's our package.json? Here we are, package.json. There's no types anywhere in here. There's no field for types or typings, which is what we saw for Axios. And there's definitely no .ts anywhere in here, let alone .d.ts. So Lodash just doesn't include that. It's just not here. So if we want to use Lodash in TypeScript, we need to go find those types, that declaration, somewhere else. And the good news is there's a very easy place to find them. So for all the popular libraries, all the third-party JavaScript tools that are used by other people, not super tiny niche ones, but 90% of the stuff you care about, at least, if not 99% these days, they all have pre-existing type declaration files that have been written for them. You just might have to install it separately. So if you go to the TypeScript documentation, it talks about how to consume type declarations. And it says, getting type declarations requires no tools apart from npm. All that we need to do, oh look, they actually use Lodash as their example, is install the types from this particular package, this magic thing, which is @types/ and then the name of the library that we need types for. So this @types thing is actually referencing this project called Definitely Typed, which is a repository that has like 7,000 different type declarations for popular JavaScript libraries. You can look in this types folder here, and GitHub can't show me all the entries. It only shows 1,000 files, but we can see types for all different packages. So we have types for ASCII art. ASCII art is a package. If we look in here, we're going to see a .d.ts file. Here's our type declarations for an ASCII art package. If we go back, look at something else, I don't know, async Redis. The async Redis package, there we are, index.d.ts. Here is the declaration file for this package. So it's not a guarantee that every package you ever want to use will have types that are defined in this particular repository, but it's a solid bet if it's a popular library. I mean, if it's one of 7,000 popular libraries. So Lodash is in here. It's not going to show up right now because it's ending after C. It's only getting the first 1,000 out of 7,000, but it's in here, and we can install it. We can get that type declaration locally by simply running @types and then /some package. So @types /Lodash. Now you'll see that pretty much everywhere they're using --save dev. And that's because we just don't really need the types in production. So this way we can just have them saved in the dev dependencies section of our package.json. Okay, so let's try it. Let me just prove, one more time. If I try and access _.anything, TypeScript doesn't know what's going on. It doesn't know any methods. It doesn't know, shuffle, for example. But as soon as I run npm install, and I'll do save dev, and then at types, so that's going to be that definitely typed project that we just saw in GitHub /Lodash, and hit enter. This will go get the types for our Lodash library. And no more red squiggly. We're in the clear here. If I look at my underscore and just hover, all right, we've got a whole bunch of information now, all the methods. Let's take a look at something like shuffle. The shuffle method is going to expect what? It expects a collection, and it's going to return something of type unknown. Let's take a look at another method. How about partition? How does partition work? Let's take a look at the type definition. Here it is, partition. It's a generic. So whatever this type is that you pass in, we're going to expect a collection of that type. And then you also pass in a callback. And anyway, that's not really the point, but that is a method that we can now use, and TypeScript knows the types of. Why don't we try using the sample method? So sample is going to return some random element from a collection that we provided, like an array. If we looked at the type definition or the declaration here, we see sample, it's a generic, right? Whatever that T is, it just has to extend object. So we got a generic constraint. And then collection has to be of that type T, null or undefined, I guess. Interesting. So we can sample undefined. I guess so. I don't know why we would do that, but you can. And that's kind of it. We don't need to spend time writing logic. We don't need to really do anything. I just wanted you to see that process of downloading some library, then realizing you need to get types, and then installing them using the @types/ whatever your package name is. So npm install and then @types/ package. If we look at our package.json, you'll see that @types/ Lodash is just in dev dependencies. We don't need that for production. So that's kind of it for this video. Really common process. If you want to go find some project, just as one more example, we won't install this, but I was using Leaflet the other day, an open source mapping package, and it doesn't come with its own types. But if we look at definitely typed, which actually it's going to be a pain to search for it. Another thing you can do is use on the TypeScript docs, somewhere on here, there's a search. Here we are, a types search. If I do Leaflet, it's going to tell me, all right, you need to install Leaflet and you need to install @types/ Leaflet. Now, if I look at Axios, we don't need to install types separately, and it knows that. It just says install Axios. That comes with its own types. Okay, so that was just another example, right? If I wanted to use that, or if you wanted to use Leaflet in TypeScript, you have to go and install those type declarations yourself. But it's super easy these days. 99.99% of the time, you'll just be able to do install @types/ package.